All right, guys. So since this is the weekend, there's not really new news to go for. So we're just gonna watch a whole bunch of videos. And Mr. Sasha Yashin always has very great videos. We're gonna keep the thumbs up probably at the end just to make sure everything's good.
Hey guys, it's Sasha. A few days ago, Oracle stock collapsed another 15% after already falling 30% in the 4 weeks before that because investors found out that investing in AI is really expensive and doesn't make any money. Oracle published their fiscal year Q2
Yeah, people are getting super worried where their investments right now.
results where their cash flow statement showed they burnt over $20 billion on capital expenditures in the last 6 months. Shout out to the Oracle intern who hasn't updated the file name of this presentation for the last 4 years. That $20 billion spent was 50% more than Wall Street expected, and some astute analysts noticed that while revenue has grown by just 13% for Oracle in the last year, the amount of money that Oracle is spending on building out data centers has gone up by 227% to now become over two-thirds of the total revenue.
That is for a company that was supposed to be stagnant and that wasn't moving anymore. There was no surprises going on with this stock, but as you can see, AI can do a lot of magic.
They made in the same time period. And of course, this spend is not financed by profits, but by building up a giant pile of debt. But don't worry, because soon, instead of spending tens of billions of dollars building expensive data centers in Texas and in Wisconsin, Oracle will join Google and Amazon in building these large city-sized data centers in space, because according to the
Oh,
CEOs of all of these
nice.
companies, that will 100% definitely for sure be much cheaper and much easier.
By 2030.
Sorry. And
How the fuck is it supposed to be better in space? How the fuck is it supposed to be easier in space? That makes no sense. That's how you can tell that this is just a whole bunch of theater, a whole bunch of shit. It doesn't make any sense.
talking about cheaper, if you have tried buying a computer recently or buying any computer
Yeah, and I mean they haven't stopped. They're gonna start stopping next year, in a couple of weeks.
components, you might notice that prices have shot up recently and are continuing to go up very fast. And the reason that the prices are going up is because of something called RAM. There are only 3 major manufacturers of random access memory in the world: Samsung, SK Hynix, and Micron. Between them, they produce over 93% of all the RAM used in the world. And RAM is a crucial component of
In
every piece of
everything.
tech.
Yeah.
Computers, phones, iPads, whatever. RAM is a
TVs.
special kind of
Your Copilot is gonna need a whole bunch of RAM to run on your TV. That's gonna be something.
computer memory that can be read and written to much faster than a normal storage drive. So when processors work
This is why they use it as well for micro SD cards, flash memory cards.
stuff out inside your computer, they store all of their workings and temporary stuff in this random access memory. If you buy a graphics card, RAM are those square bits surrounding the main GPU chip in the middle. If you install a processor in the computer, RAM are those
What did you say?
in this random access memory. If you buy
Random access. I thought it was ready access memory. Random access memory. Misunderstanding. Oh shit. My bad.
a graphics card, RAM are those square bits surrounding the main GPU chip in the middle. If you install a processor in the computer, RAM are those sticks that sit right next to the processor that the processor uses to do its work. And the issue is that graphics cards that are being
Oh, that's a oversimplification. They both do different work.
used in AI data centers use a lot of RAM, and there is infinite money that is ready and available to buy up all of that RAM. The latest NVIDIA graphics cards for AI are the GB200 Blackwell cards, and each
I think those are the $30,000 to $50,000 graphics cards.
Each one of those has one processor and two GPUs. Each GPU has 192 gigabytes of RAM, and the CPU has up to 480 gigabytes of RAM on top of that. So each single one of these cards uses up to 864 gigabytes of RAM, just one card. And companies like Google, Microsoft, Facebook, Twitter, and the rest of them are queuing up around the block to buy up about 1 million of these graphics cards per quarter, over 4 million a year. And because the demand for AI graphics cards is now so high, the margins are very high too. Remember,
They're
the price
better.
of these data center graphics cards is now about 5 times higher than what the equivalent was priced before ChatGPT launched in November 2022. So Micron, one of the 3 producers of RAM, has just announced that they will stop selling their Crucial-based RAM, the consumer
December 3rd, it's December 21st. These have started to skyrocket about a week ago. It's insane. And this is just after the announcement, so there's no shortage still. It hasn't happened yet. They're gonna, you know, they're gonna continue through the consumer channel until February 2026.
kind of RAM in February. And this is because the demand from AI data centers is so large and they make so much money, there's so much profit from those sales, it makes absolutely no sense for them to continue selling consumer RAM when you could just be selling that same RAM, putting all of your efforts into selling the RAM for the NVIDIA AI chips to make way more money. The situation is now so absurd that Samsung's phone division wasn't able to secure contracts to buy RAM from the Samsung RAM manufacturing team because
So they're gonna get lower entry phones for Samsungs are gonna go back to 4 gigabytes of RAM. We're going backwards. So technology is supposed to always be evolving, being better, and we're going backwards. That's beautiful.
all of the RAM there is being sold for a lot of money to data centers. You might not have known that Samsung manufactures a lot of RAM before watching this video, but they now make more profit from selling a RAM to data centers than they do from selling phones and all the other Samsung appliances put together. And this creates a problem because back in the real world, prices of electronics for like regular schmucks like me
Everything's gonna be affected. This is gonna be so freaking gross. If you haven't already bought a computer, a television, uh, cell phones, if you haven't renewed your contracts this year, don't wait because this is gonna fuck up your whole budget. That's for sure.
are increasing. I am recording this video and editing it on a computer down there that I built 5 years ago, back in
Man,
2020. Back then, I bought 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM for my computer for a grand total of £529. It's about 680.
yeah, we already saw a whole bunch of price comparison. Vex's video was pretty crazy with prices from just earlier this year in January, and I think around October, and we saw that those numbers they doubled, tripled already. So she's gonna get ugly.
$88 at the time. Today, I can buy 2 similar but slower RAM sticks without a heatsink for £324 each. That's $866 in total, which is 26% more expensive than what I paid 5 years ago. Even a standard modern equivalent DDR5 RAM package, also in the same 64 gigabytes, still costs 32% more. That is seriously expensive. You know what's not expensive? Buying stocks on eToro, who are the sponsors of today's
Good
video.
one.
eToro is one of the best investing apps in the world and lets you invest your money without paying high fees. You can invest in funds, you can invest in stocks. There are over 7,000 different options to choose from on the platform. If you want to be sensible and invest in ETFs, there is no commission at all, which is awesome. It's free. If you want to trade stocks, there is no commission on stocks in the UK. It's also free, although if you live in a different country, you might need to pay a $1 commission per transaction for US stocks. stocks, other fees can apply. For example, if you want to exchange currency. But if you've not been sure about trying eToro out, they are running a promotion. If you live in the UK and you want to try them out, you can get $50 worth of stock for free if you sign up and make a deposit using my link. All you have to do is go click the link in the description or in the pinned comment, spend 5 minutes filling out your details, and try the app out to see if you like it more than whichever broker you're using. And then you can go ahead and claim your bonus $50 of one of these stocks, so it really pays to check out eToro. Please go and click on the link in the description or in the pinned comment and try the platform out. So the AI data center boom means that buying regular tech products is more expensive for everybody. But it's not just the tech prices. Electricity prices in
Yeah, so we discussed this a whole bunch. So they actually offload the price hike of electricity to people living close to these data centers. So, and there's also noise pollution. There's a whole bunch of issues, and they say that predictions RAM prices for 2027. So they're predicting that the price is going to stabilize most likely 6 to 8 months from this article, but I doubt that this is going to be true. Other predictions were aiming towards starting Q1 of 2027, but as we saw with the GPU shortage, there's little chance that this is going to happen. The price they rises, but they never go back down afterwards. And since this is a fabricated shortage, you're gonna have people that when the there's a stock backup for the consumer, they're gonna jump on it. The people are still gonna need to buy it because they most likely they're gonna be holding out for a year or more, and then everybody's gonna jump on them, and the prices are not gonna drop. Graphics cards haven't dropped down to the way they were before the gold rush with crypto mining.
the United States have gone up by about 10% in 2025 because of the extra demand on the grid from data centers. Some data centers consume so much energy that they would have collapsed the local electricity plants. And so now, in order
I hope this is what he's gonna say, but Microsoft's nuclear power. So they're turning around to buying some nuclear power plants to power these data centers. It's pretty freaking weird, man.
to try to mitigate, the huge Memphis data center used by X, Twitter, has installed dozens of gas-burning turbines to power the hundreds of thousands of graphics cards inside.
Wow.
Facebook is doing the same thing over in Louisiana in their Hyperion data center, creating huge amounts of pollution for anyone living in the area, as well as pushing the energy prices up all around. There has been a lot of talk about restarting old nuclear reactors to power AI, but most of these projects are not scheduled to start producing power until 2028 or 2029 at the earliest, if everything goes completely to plan. And if they ever do it, that is, because we've heard a lot of CEOs of big tech companies complaining recently that there isn't an infinite amount of energy available to them whenever they need it.
Oh no. So what does that mean? Does that mean that this is it? The next iteration is going to be the last one? If it doesn't work, then it's going to be over? What is going to happen if after building 300-400 billions data center and fucking up everything around it, what are they going to do if it doesn't work? Are they going to drop everything, just destroy everything and try to build something even bigger? It doesn't make sense. This is such a stupid approach.
Released multiple statements in recent months saying that instead of them spending hundreds of billions of dollars that
Oh yeah, this is a government issue because this is something that's going to benefit the whole world. They're gonna get the money, but it's gonna benefit the whole world. So the whole world should be paying to put this, even though it doesn't work, and it's a whole bunch of shit, and everybody knows it.
They don't have, it would be very nice, they would really appreciate it if maybe the US government and the US taxpayer could build the energy infrastructure for them instead. And for the next few years, we're going to see an increase on the pressure load on the electricity grid as a result of all of these data centers.
And we also saw yesterday the great video, um, uh, bonus tax rebate structure data center. So the thing was that instead of having the tax rebates be applied over a period of time, they're gonna get the whole like a 30 million rebate in the first year, and yeah, that's a big sign of a recession.
Springing up everywhere, the price of
Pretty
natural
cute.
gas and everything else will just continue going up, and naturally it will just mean that prices have to keep on going far above normal inflation on energy because there is only so much peak power available to be used. And then there's the cost of your monthly subscriptions going up because a big tech company has decided that
They're gonna
you
integrate
most
AI
definitely want to pay for AI. You probably
for
have a
everything.
few dozen of those emails a day from every single product that you own. If you have a Microsoft 365 subscription, various reports are saying that about
They're shoving Copilot everywhere. We have agentic browsers everywhere. Mozilla fumbled the ball, and they're doing their agentic browser as well. It's out of control.
$40 a year from that subscription is now the cost of Copilot that most people who use Microsoft 365 don't want or need or even know that it exists. Google's Gemini is apparently adding at least $2 a month on commercial contracts for Google Workspace. And because it's all part of a single package, you don't get to decide if you want it or not. You don't get to decide if you want to pay for it or not.
That's
Your
what you
monthly
have
subscription
to
just
get.
goes up by 20%, for example, as has recently happened with Google more than once, and you just have to suck it up if you want to keep using all of these services like your email and Google Sheets. My accounting package has just gone up in price, and it now has AI. The tool that I use to do the accounting. Literally nobody wants it. I don't think a single
How would you trust AI in accounting if you're already aware that there's so much risk that is going to hallucinate? You know, how can you make, how can you use something that has like 10% chance of fucking up? That is such a big number.
person who does accounting wants AI to guess what the fuck is going on with the numbers. The funniest thing is that after all of this happens, these companies then hold their quarterly results where they sit there and proudly announce.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to say that, oh man, AI usage has been on a growing track. You know, everybody's using AI. It's incredible, but it's just because they're shoving it everywhere and they're forcing people to have it. It's like that stupid U2 album in iPhone. I'm pretty sure everybody wanted to receive that, right? Everybody asked for it. This is so stupid.
That the revenues from AI are growing fast because it's
Beautiful.
part of the overall package. They used to have this other revenue that had nothing to do with AI. Now all of that revenue can be considered AI because
AI.
AI is part of the package.
Beautiful.
I wonder how fast those revenues would grow if you actually had a choice of whether or not you want to pay for the AI. And if you didn't count the companies passing around the same money to each other to create fake revenue, I wonder how big these numbers would really be. We live in a weird time where the AI bubble has now got so big that everything has to have AI. When you go to the shop to buy a new laptop, you used to be told, right, on all the marketing materials, which processor was inside, how much storage it had, how good a graphics card it had, all that good stuff. Now, none of that matters. Laptops
Yeah, it won't matter because it won't be affordable. You're gonna use a shitty ass PC to connect to a server and have them do the work for you. So they're gonna start selling shitty low tier computers.
literally just have stickers on them which say, this laptop is AI ready. It is
What
ready
does that
for
even
AI.
fucking
You might not be
mean?
ready, your husband, wife, children might not be ready, but the laptop is ready. Give it some AI already. It's ready. I was
Yeah,
curious as to
we
what
developed extra chips, you know, to have some AI computing on your computer. It's still hallucinating. It's still fucking up shit. It's still gonna delete your whole hard drive. Um, but it's there with you now.
makes a laptop ready for AI. I thought maybe it has a special neural net engine inside, so that it can run its own AI models. No, 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 no. Or maybe these computers have huge, powerful graphics cards, massive amounts of RAM inside, so that you can train maybe and operate your own AI model. No, 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 no.
How would that even work? How are they gonna build $100 billion data center to build the next models? And you're gonna do that on your shitty ass laptop?
Turns out that to be ready for AI, all you need is a web browser. The future is here. Say hello to Netscape. We were all told when AI
Oh, are they repurposing like the Chromebook's computer to be just the shell of a computer that's able to connect to AI?
first arrived 3 years ago, that it would revolutionize the world of work. This is it, right? We will now immediately become 10 times more productive. If you are not using AI to become 10 times more productive,
You don't
everybody else is.
understand. Yeah.
Everybody is going
You're
to
gonna
have
get left
infinite use.
behind.
Remember, there's going to be universal
Everybody's
higher
gonna be
income or
rich.
whatever other bullshit that people come
Except
up with.
you
For
because you
some
can't
weird
use it.
reason, though, we're now 3 and a bit years down the line. It just hasn't happened, and it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Instead,
Yeah.
fake reviews on Amazon that were already really annoying before have now multiplied. It's so easy and so fast to
Yeah, because you used to be able to tell when a bot left a review on a product or on a website, because there were some very specific telltale sign. Syntax was fucked up, or the grammar didn't make sense. There was something obvious to what was posted, something akin to having like somebody write the review in Chinese and have it translated. And since they're unable to understand English, they would just copy and paste the result, and you would read the review, and it would make sense that somebody that clearly doesn't speak English, is trying to present uh, as if they were right. And now with these generative models, they're going to respect the syntax. They're going to respect everything. People are already having a hard time telling when they're the ones writing information. So that's just going to confuse people.
write some kind of bullshit saying that the product is really good. It's now actually quite hard, I find, to find actual reviews from humans of actual products on there. Spam emails used to have a certain flair to them because the hard-working scammers would sit in some godforsaken hole in a country far, far away, and they would write all of these emails that would at times, for me, be quite funny to read, somewhat entertaining. The spelling mistakes, the way that they would phrase things. Now, even those scammers don't bother. They just use AI. It's so
Yeah.
boring. I no longer peruse my spam folder for a bit of light-hearted entertainment. And a lot of products have, in my opinion, objectively got worse because of AI. 10 years ago, I could go to Google and find whatever I wanted in seconds. It was great.
Yeah.
Now, I go to Google and The experience reminds me more of Alta Vista from 25 years ago. What used to be a simple search query, which was smart at identifying exactly what you're after and presenting you the results that you
Because back then, they didn't have like incentives to have all these integrations, and it was really good at what it did. That's why it took over Alta Vista and all these other search engines that used to exist before Google took over.
need to click on. Now there is a sequence of 5 to 10 search queries in some cases for me when I realized that the dumbass AI at the top didn't actually understand what it
Oh, this is so freaking frustrating. Like it makes it such a big waste of time. I mean, I'm putting in keywords. I don't need you to try to understand them. This is how we used to search on the internet. You put the most important keywords and you would get like corresponding results. Now you're trying to interpret whatever the fuck I'm writing, and sometimes it doesn't make sense because I'm working in IT. I put keywords that are used in other contexts and in different situations, and so what you're trying to present to me, it doesn't make sense, and it's a waste of time, and it pisses me off.
was that I was asking, and it's answering a slightly different question, or not exactly what it is that I was looking for, or it's answering a query that doesn't even need an answer. I'm just looking for the information. I'm looking for the website that would show me this information, but that website used to be at the top. It's now not there. Even when I scroll, it's not there either. The search results underneath the AI snippet have been butchered so hard. I find it really hard to actually find stuff based
I know, I think last week or the week before that, I used to search here, use this as a search bar, and I start typing, and there's this little badge on the right that says AI mode, and I'm like, okay, whatever, and I finish typing, and instead of doing a freaking search, it just answers me with the stupid AI. That's not what I wanted, and so if you don't know, you need to disable this in the Chrome flags right here. So if you haven't done it, you should disable this if you don't enjoy that.
basic stuff. Every day on Twitter, I see how all of these AI models are beating the latest benchmarks. According to all of this bullshit, and it is, I'm
It
sorry,
is
the latest
bullshit,
AI models are
100%.
already performing at the level of PhD students, Nobel laureates, whatever, in terms of academic smarts, and the level of the best experienced super senior developers in terms of application. Maybe my personal expectation of what a senior developer should be able to do are a bit elevated, but I am personally seeing a crazy amount of logical mistakes, errors that should
As we said, there's this quote that AI knows 100% of the things that I don't know, but it only knows about 40% of the things that I do know, and I'm just not gonna think about it too much.
not be there forgetting shit because you've asked it 3 questions since the last time you told it something that are errors that a half competent junior developer would never make, or at least that junior developer, if there was something they weren't sure about, they would know to ask a question back first, get the answer, and then do it the correct way instead of making a series of really bad assumptions.
Like wiping off the hard drive of this poor guy who trusted Claude for a silly reason, probably.
Which is what AI does because it's not a logical algorithm, it's not a thinking algorithm, it's a predictive.
That is beautiful. That is true. It's not a thinking algorithm. But eventually, or we're already starting to get to the point where it will be able to replace junior developers, and further later is going to be able to replace regular developers, and most likely after is going to be able to replace senior developers, and once we're past that, nobody's going to have a job anymore. Nobody's going to run the companies anymore. We're gonna have like these zombie AI companies selling products and services to other AI companies, and they're gonna try to grow as fast as they can. And this is probably gonna be like the most dystopian we're gonna get. Hopefully, we don't see that anytime soon.
Text system. But anyway, it just makes a load of assumptions which leads to a completely incorrect result. But the fact is, in 2023, US GDP grew by 2.9%. That was the first year after AI, ChatGPT, arrived. In 2024, it grew by 2.8%. Both of those around the historical average. Latest forecasts expect GDP in 2025 to grow at an annual rate of 1.9% and 1.8% in 2026. So where is this incredible economic boom? Where is the 10 times productivity?
We need to pay $100 billion multiple times, and have the citizens pay for that over decades. And if we do everything properly, maybe we might see it. That sounds like a really good plan to me.
Being told that AI is the biggest tech revolution in history, bigger than the Industrial Revolution, bigger than the steam engine, bigger than the computer, bigger than the internet, but instead we are seeing rising unemployment.
You forgot
in the United
fire.
States, in the UK, and other countries, we are seeing hundreds of...
There's the there's obfuscation here with the unemployment, because people actually, instead of signing up for employment, they do gig work. And so this is very odd. This is the first time it has ever happened in like socioeconomics, because they're used they're we didn't have this type of work before, right? And so people are doing that when they're getting fired, and so it messes up the optics of economics, and it's to the advantage of the government right now, the way that it's presented, because it shows that the US is doing much better than it's actually doing.
thousands of people lose their jobs. But don't worry, because there is always a next year. If you don't believe that AI will absolutely make everybody infinitely rich next year, every year, you're just a boomer. You don't understand tech. That's what I've been told for the last 3 years. Remember, go and check out eToro, the sponsor of this video. Click the link in the description on the pinned comment. Really go and check them out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.
If agentic AI is confusing,
It was a
you,
good video.
our new
As we
super
saw,
agents
the
can
thumbs up
educate you.
just kept rising while we were watching the video.